Hi guys, welcome back to Success Decoded TV. Today we're going to be having a chat with Greg Secker, who's the CEO of Knowledge to Action. He's a very famous wealth creation expert who made his money in trading the markets. He's also shared the stage with Anthony Robbins, Sir Richard Branson and Lord Alan Sugar. Let's go have a chat with Greg and find out what the keys to success are. Greg, you started obviously trading at a very young age to the point where you were able to retire at 27. You made enough money to sort of quit and just stay at home and do whatever you wanted, which is quite great. After that, you set Knowledge to Action, and now you have sort of trading floors all over the world.
Right.
My question is what do you think has made you the man you are today?
Wow, that's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's made me the man I am today? I think a lot of very different life experiences and learning from different people. I think we're all a combination of the different life experiences and people we've met along the road. And I've been fortunate, I suppose, to be very fortunate early on to be around some very amazing people. Certainly, I suppose, in my early career, getting with currency traders and people who are making a lot of money was very sort of catalytic in getting me out of what was really a bit of a humdrum job, really, and into something which allowed me more time to think, really. So when you've got, what I found is that as I was earning more money, I didn't have to sort of be at the grindstone every day. So I had, I'd made enough money so I could literally, you do use the word retire, and I think it's fair to say that, I could have easily retired, but of course I don't believe in retiring. I believe in doing what you love doing, and therefore I don't really delineate between work and play. It all seems to be sort of the same thing. Mm-hmm. But it does allow you to think, and a great friend of mine once said, in this life you can work or you can think, but you can't do both at the same time. Yeah. And I think that's true. I think if you're working really hard, you don't have time to sort of sit back and really think, and by being able to make enough money to allow me to plan and think things through, I've been able to sort of set my course as to where I want to go and then follow through with doing that.
But what sort of key distinctions have you made compared to the average man? Because you obviously live a lifestyle that people dream of on a daily basis. Is that fair to say?
I think possibly, yeah.
Yeah. So what sort of specifically do you think?
I think I spend a lot of my time with people who are incredibly inspiring, who've got to a stage in their life where most of their time is spent asking the question, how can I serve more people? And how can I help more people? And I think when you come at life from a place of, how do I just help me, but how do I help humanity, or how do I do something good in the world?
That's right.
How do I serve? When your primary question shifts from, how do I pay my bills, to how can I be of greater service to this world? How can I use my talents? That we all have our own talents. How can I use the stuff I was given to make the world or contribute to the world in a meaningful way? And I think when you come from that point of view, I think your world changes. And I think I'm really privileged to be able to say that's true of my life. I feel I get to contribute.
But when you started, so why trading specifically then?
Well, do you know what? It was real pure serendipity. I didn't know trading was going to be the thing. I thought I was a guy doing animal physiology with veterinary, thinking I'd do IT because everyone was earning good money at it at the time, and then by serendipity, there I am on a trading floor, surrounded by guys making a lot of money. And I'm thinking, hey, maybe I should learn that skill.
So it's quite random.
It was complete serendipity. It was literally just right place, right time, and I took quite a methodical approach to it. I was like, okay, well, how are they doing it? What are they doing? Mm-hmm. And of course I wanted to be successful, and I thought, well, if I really crack on and make the money now, then maybe I can do things I want to do later on. And what I actually found in the experience was that I was really enjoying the experience, and money was coming anyway. And nowadays, I spend less of my time, training people or trading, but more of my time trying to do other projects which have really become flights of passion now.
Sure. There's lots of sort of other successful traders and seminars and books. Yeah. What do you do to stand out?
I think the key is, I think everyone who learns a skill or has some success to pass on should write a book, and I wrote one. Sure. And I think because it gives everybody access to what you've learned quite cost effectively. Mm-hmm. But I think what we do as an organisation that's different is I learned that sitting with people and spending time in the company of those people who are successful encourages you to realise, A, you can do it, And you get, by spending time in a company with people who are doing the thing that you want to do, you get some belief transference from them. You kind of learn the shortcuts too, but you learn some belief transference. And I found that for me that was instrumental in being able to help other people. So it wasn't a case of just teach them something or run a seminar or give them a book, but actually grab them and then sit them with you and show them how to do it. And by doing that, you get them into more of an active phase as opposed to a passive learning phase.
Essentially, you've given 3 really good points there, which is write a book, seminars, and personal coaching. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I think the personal coaching piece is the most important bit out of all of the 3.
Sure.
It's all well and good to know what to do, but it's actually getting the individual to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that comes when you spend time with them and get them active, not just passively learning the content.
Yeah.
Sometimes people think the answer to their wealth problem is understanding what successful people do, and that's not the truth. That's only half of it. It's then getting them to actually do it for themselves so they can reap the same benefits.
Sure. Actually, that point about sort of being active is a good point, because I mean you on today's seminar and stuff, you show people how to make £90,000 in 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
What is it that sort of people fail to understand or implement, really? Why don't they go out there? You've given them a good strategy.
Yeah.
Why aren't they going out there and doing it?
Because they don't believe they can do it. That's the problem. The problem is not, do they know what to do? They know what to do now, but they don't visualize that being their reality. They still see themselves playing and doing what they do. That's why they are still playing and doing what they do. In life, you don't get what you deserve, and you don't get what you should have or what you could have. You get in life what you tolerate. And what they're getting in their lives is what they're tolerating having. They don't see, or they don't believe that, living a wealthy lifestyle or being able to, do things that otherwise they would consider to be outrageous is part of their makeup, is part of the and it's completely incorrect. They can do anything. Anyone can do anything at any time. But unless you believe that to be a reality, the probability of it coming to be by divine providence is very small, negligible even.
How do you change your belief then?
You change your references. To change your belief, you change your references. And let me give you an example. So you're a smoker. You're 90 years old. You've smoked your entire life, and people have come and gone. But hey, smoking hasn't killed you yet. So as far as you're concerned, smoking doesn't kill people. Now, this person over here is a cardiothoracic surgeon who cuts open bodies 8 times a day through cancer-related, tar-related lung disease. Your perception of smoking is going to be very different. So in other words, whoever we spend time with, whatever we focus on, we ultimately becomes more of our reality.
Sure.
So if I want a belief which says, I could be a successful entrepreneur, I could be a successful trader, if I don't spend time in the company of people that are that, the probability of me changing my beliefs is small. Our beliefs become a substrate of our environment. That's really, it's the physical manifestation of our environment. Of what we believe is really what we've consumed from our surroundings and then conceptualized and precipitated in our mind. That is what our belief is. And so if we recognize that the consumption of our external and immediate proximity becomes the manifestation and the creation of what that consumption is, we better start eating a different dinner.
Sure.
If we want to have a different...
changing the environment, essentially. Feeding yourself different information.
Quite right.
Brilliant. What sort of other things do you think people would need to hear in order to be successful, whether it's trading or any sort of other area?
When do you want me to start and finish? It's a long list. So setting goals. Most people you speak to in life, they don't know what they want.
Sure.
Got a good chance of not getting it because they don't know what they want. So I think if you read autobiographies of some of the most successful people in the world, Richard Branson is a superhero of all of ours. I think
good friend of yours.
Yep. Yeah. I think I'm honoured to say he's a friend, and he's I've spent a lot of time with him on different things, and he's an amazing man, and he's very humble, and he's an incredible human being on so many different levels. Yeah. But if you want to understand what makes him tick, read his autobiography. He's written many books, and he shares a lot of his wisdom. And people don't need to be in awe of Richard Branson, they just need to read what he's written down. And he'll tell you that his life is a combination of taking some risk, but setting goals about where he wants to go next. He didn't open a record shop and say, I want to open an airline tomorrow. He opened a record shop, and then he set goals as he went along, and then he turns around now and says, wow, I'm about to take my company into outer space.
Yeah, that's
and it's incredible. And it's incredible what he's doing and how he's doing it. He's not just flying a few people to space, he's also using that same technology to cost effectively, and when I say cost, not just from a monetary standpoint, but from an ecological standpoint, deploy satellites into space. I mean, he's doing incredible things.
Yeah.
So it all comes from setting a goal and then setting another goal, but he always knows where he's going, and I find that people who struggle with the whole word success really just don't know where they're going next, that's all.
Well, taking that example, Richard Branson, how can what have you personally derived from there and implemented in your life? Can you give us an example?
Yeah, I was with him in his game reserve in Ola Sabra in Johannesburg a couple of years ago, and we were doing a coffee morning roundtable Q&A with Richard, which is, there you are looking over the Great Plains of Africa with another 20 incredibly successful serial entrepreneurs, and I asked him the question, what do you think? What are we missing? What are we missing? Why are we not moving forward as quickly as we otherwise could be? And he said, too many entrepreneurs spend too long at the coalface. You've got to get away from the coalface. You've got to find people that are better than you, have them run your business so you can sit back and think and then open another business. But of course, entrepreneurs have this whole guilt factor around leaving, the engine room, and so they feel they have to be in the engine room all the time, and instead of doing, they're actually in the way of the progress and the growth of the organisation, and spend therefore too long at the coalface that they don't get to spend enough time working on their business, but too much time in it. And I found it was a great piece of advice, and I implemented it. I got myself out of the office. I built a beautiful home outside my office in London, in the countryside.
Sure.
Built a dream office I always wanted to have, which is gives me place and time to think and come up with new creative ideas. And from that, we run charity foundations now, with these big success summits all over the world, and I get to see more of Richard because of that, I suppose, which is kind of
that's great.
A funny cycle. But there we are. And that was the piece of advice.
Brilliant. So how do you sort of stay on top of your game? What is it that really drives you as well?
I think exploring ideas and being and listening to your heart. You're passionate about what you're really passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
So I know where I'm going next. I have lots of cool ideas about things I want to do, and and I think when you do that, you're excited about them and you want to move things forward. So so I think listening to what makes your heart tick about what you really what you're really passionate about.
Sure. What is the next big thing for Greg Secker?
The next big thing for me, we just got into success summits, and that we can make a big difference in an area, in a society. You take, we just did a big success summit, so out of 5,000 people. For me, the next level would be to integrate beautiful production. Whereas you imagine like a Michael Jackson concert, which is so highly produced, so it's a magical experience, but with having the best speakers, lecturers, individuals who can give you the most incredible success tools and strategies in an integrated way as part of an amazing production.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually go through an integrated process that you aren't observing, you're actually partaking in.
Sure.
And in so doing, transforming you through the process.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be working on next. That we've got the right people, and So
brilliant. That's great. How can people get in touch with you, Greg, if they were interested in sort of following up with courses?
So our website address in the United Kingdom is learntotrade.co.uk. I'm on Twitter. It's Greg Secker on Twitter, and I'm obviously on Facebook as well, but I'm not probably allowed any more friend requests now. But learntotrade.co.uk is our website address. And look, I mean, I do respond to my personal email, which is greg@knowledge2action.co.uk. And if people are interested in understanding more about what I do, feel free to drop me a line. I'd be happy to follow up.
Brilliant. It's great to have you here. Thank you.